few minutes while it's scheduled. Just a few minutes, we'll get started. Thank you guys so much for coming. It's a pleasure to see you guys here. Well, Martin, this is going to work great. Oh, good. Are you okay? Yeah, I got to feel this. We were waiting on everything to get going. Just everybody relax. We get a free look. So Leslie's here, Whitley's here, James is here, James' sister's here, Martin Willis is here, Sarah Gam is here, Gene Sicko is here. Leslie, happy band place to see you. That's how you doing, Leslie? He goes here in this town last time. That's right. Yeah, I'm actually live streaming anyway. Okay, we're just waiting on things to crank up. And as you can see from what I was showing, there's this place is filled up, and it's full of people you will all know. You'll see later. We are at the National Press Club in Washington D.C. I'm glad I can see your comments. Not many, but never mind. I can see them. You're welcome, Kat. I'm glad to be able to do it. Glad to be here. And good morning to you, Karen. Hey, Picard's blouse. Look, uh, you would not believe how tall Megan is. She's over 6 feet. That's her right there. That's Megan right there. And so News Nation's here. But I mean, I don't know what Ross is not here, but Megan is. So there you go. She's over 6 feet tall. Wow. That's Leslie and many of the Brazilians. And they're all around taking pictures. Everybody wants to meet Leslie. Sorry about my wiggly hand. I don't have a camera stand, but whatever. We'll do the best we can. Slowly but surely, it's packed. We got to get everybody situated just perfectly. That was James Fox whizzing by, trying to get stuff going. It's getting a little loud in here. People are moving around, getting seated. Sorry for the delay, but they're working on audio stuff. I was talking to this guy. I know him.
So here, so tell you first.
Yep. What you up doing, man?
How you doing?
Good.
I was just getting some things set up. Talk to you guys later.
And that hush, literally.
It's time.
Hi, everyone. We are pulling ourselves together here. I think we're just threading up the laces at the last minute. I was told there was going to be about 10 people here. I'm Karen. I'm going to host the event today and see. I can tell you, as someone who's an introvert by nature, it normally takes me a few minutes to warm up into speaking. So bear with me. I think at the moment, if we're ready to go, we're ready for students. We started it out. All right, so welcome, thank you. We have, first, some people came a very long way to be with us today. Some people got on flights early this morning. Some people drove for many hours in the car. So for everyone who didn't get enough sleep last night or is jet lagged, thank you for your sacrifices. We're very happy that you're here with us today. So my job right now is just like an airline flight attendant to tell you where the emergency exit phone has been done. So the first thing is that we are going to read some written statements. That's the cue collective eye rule. But we're doing that to set the table. Right? It will take us about an hour to move through all of them. The good news is that we all read pretty well, so it shouldn't be too torturous. And after the hour is over, we might run a little bit longer than that. We're going to take a 15-minute break. Let everyone have a bio break or move around and move your body. Then we'll bring you back in for Q&A. The Q&A will go for an hour as long as it needs to. And then we can be here together until 5 o'clock. So we don't have to feel anxious about the amount of time that we have. We can be chill about it, and we want everybody to have a chance to come out ultimately.
We'll be here till 5 o'clock.
Here to know that you'll have plenty of time to do that. What else am I going to say? I think I just did it all. The QR codes. So that was, we weren't quite sure to do that. Remember how the QR codes were on the wall?
Yeah, they're.
All right. So the QR codes are for the videos. Is that right?
Yes, to download the materials.
All right. So she just said it. So we have QR codes on the wall if you want to download the videos later. All right. We good? Everybody else okay? Yes, we're ready for this? All right. James, you ready?
Ready.
Let's make it happen. Yeah. All right. So I'm Karen Austin. I'm the managing director at the John Mack Institute and the Center for the Impossible at Rice University. Together with founder Dr. Jeffrey Kreikel and Amanda Foki, have special collections at the Woodson Research Center. We are spearheading a large-scale metadata research initiative to better understand the patterns of human experience related to the phenomenon. Today, though, I'm here in service to this. with all my heart and love and support. It's a pleasure and an honor to be with you. So with that said, to not bury the lead, this conference addresses the existence of non-human biologics, defined as biological specimens or bodies of a technologically advanced non-human intelligence. The first-hand witnesses here with us today will describe their personal encounters with live, advanced non-human beings that were discovered in the immediate aftermath of a UFO crash outside Varginha, Brazil in 1996. What happened in Varginha is a part of a larger story, one that has accelerated dramatically here in the United States following the 2017 New York Times article that brought renewed attention to military encounters with unidentified aerial phenomena, or UAP. Since then, Congress has held 4 open hearings on UAP, an unprecedented step, while the Department of Defense has released congressionally mandated reports from its UAP task force. Bipartisan legislation has established new oversight and reporting pathways, with additional measures still in development. Members of Congress are pressing for greater transparency and whistleblower protections, while highly credible intelligence and defense insiders, many testifying under oath, are reporting on deeply classified programs tasked with the recovery of crashed UAP and the preservation of biologics held within ultra-secret legacy programs. In light of this momentum, the public's right to know becomes central. Evidence that we are not alone should not be classified. Confirmation of the existence of life beyond Earth, I think we all agree, belongs to every human being. And with that, I'd like to introduce Kirk to help us understand, Kirk and Connell, to help us understand what's been happening behind the scenes to bring this ecosystem of secrecy under congressional oversight. We are honored to welcome Kirk McConnell.
Hi, I served for 37 years on the staff of the Senate Armed Services Committee, the Senate Intelligence Committee, and the House Intelligence Committee, retiring from government service almost 2 years ago. I was among the staff from the Senate Armed Services Committee and the Senate Intelligence Committee who collaboratively investigated the UAP issue on behalf of the senators from both parties and on both committees. After the seminal articles from the New York Times in 2017 that Karen mentioned, and that I'm sure all of you are aware of. As extraordinary as the claims sound of the witnesses that you will be hearing from today about a crash retrieval and the recovery of non-human beings from Varginha in 1996, behind the scenes, similar reports have reached senators and staff conducting the investigation that I referred to. Many of you in attendance today or tuning in to this event are familiar with the public statements of now Secretary of State and National Security Advisor Marco Rubio, who has been very outspoken on this matter. As Vice Chairman of the Senate Intelligence Committee, he clearly conveyed how seriously he takes these allegations. He and other senators held meetings and interviews in so-called sensitive compartment of intelligence facilities, SCIFs, over a period of years with very credible sources reporting both direct and secondhand knowledge of the reality of highly intelligent non-human beings. Government retrievals and reverse engineering of craft not made by human beings, and the recovery of bodies of non-human beings. These reports allege hidden government activities like those you will hear about today, stretching across many decades. What these folks are going to tell you today in person and remotely are astounding, but they're not the only credible testimony about such events. Thank you.
Kirk is actually going to be back later to provide some closing remarks for us. I should also make a note here, we're potentially expecting Representative Ferguson. Is that true?
Yes, he said he's coming.
Okay, so there may be a moment where everything pauses and we hiccup, when we bring Burleson on stage. So just bear with that if that happens. And hopefully it will. Anyway, thank you, Kirk. We look forward to hearing your closing remarks. Next, I'd like to introduce Dr. Jacques Vallée remotely. Unable to attend the event in person, he generously agreed to record a statement for us. Jacques is a renowned scientific investigator, cultural icon in this field, and one of its most influential thinkers.
Good afternoon. My name is Jacques Vallée. I'm speaking at the request of Mr. James Fox, because a few years ago I initiated a system of multiple databases used by a DIA-sponsored program at Bigelow Aerospace as a cleared member of the scientific team charged with the study of UFO UAP phenomena. The data warehouse system contained data about 260,000 screening reports of anomalous objects in flight and hundreds of reports of creatures, live or dead, associated with crashed or landed vehicles of unknown provenance, including some similar to those in Virginia, thus providing useful multinational and historical context. My current research is taking us to deeper levels with new on-site analytical and physical research on historical cases, such as the 1945 case in San Antonio, New Mexico, the 1964 case in Socorro, New Mexico, and also, and the 1965 case in Valais-Sole in France. In those and several others, new physical and environmental data was collected. The observations involve a total of 7 creatures, generally similar in size and general body shape to those described by the witnesses in Varginha, Brazil, and by Mr. Fox, providing both context and statistical support for current and future findings. In particular, all the creatures just mentioned breathe air normally. Beyond this, I currently serve in a private capacity on the scientific advisory board of the French Government National Center for Space Studies, CNES. That unit has actively researched the UFO problem since 1975, including national cases of close encounters with the presence of occupants, a number of which I have also studied on site. It should be clear, however, that I do not represent any of these government organizations in this or any other context. The Varginha incident of 1996 in Brazil, research documented by James Fox, fits within cases already known in scientific and medical records, many of which have remained classified. Relaxing the classification requirements while preserving security of essential facilities such as the nuclear labs would make it possible to inform and enlist the scientific community at a higher level. Action by the executive branch to allow more open exchange would be world-changing. As the Varginha case proves, allowing more open contact at the international level would yield better understanding of the global issues. The current segmentation of the data hinders any serious research into what appears to be an extraterrestrial phenomenon empowered by advanced artificial intelligence. Open archives do exist to some extent, describing the physical and biological environment of the crafts and their occupants. So-called and Valençon in particular, to unclassified cases officially deemed unidentified by multiple government agencies have yielded evidence of traces, recovered materials, and environmental effects. But we know that much more is available. The Varginha case presents exceptional new knowledge beyond what was already known. It improves our information in two fundamental ways. First, in the ability to reconstruct what happened to the craft and its occupants from beginning to end. And second, in the professional description of the anatomical and behavioral features of the live creature recovered by authorities within a short time of the crash and to the point of its death. By this achievement, James' long and perilous project has opened up an entirely new field of research.
Thank you, Jacques. Um, His perspective, of course, reminds us of the long arc of inquiry that has led us to this very moment. It's now my honor to introduce James Fox, the documentary filmmaker who spearheaded today's event. His work has consistently centered the human experience within some of the world's most provocative UAP cases. James, at 28 years old, completed and sold his first documentary on the UFO subject to Discovery Communications. Over the years, through films like Out of the Blue, I Know What I Saw, The Phenomenon, The Program, and Moment of Contact, he has consistently centered the human experience with some of the world's most provocative cases. James' most recent work, Moment of Contact, New Revelations, returns to the 1996 Virginia, Brazil event. Often described as one of the most compelling crash retrieval cases involving multiple live non-human beings of advanced intelligence. For over 2 decades, he and his team have chased down the facts and witnesses to the incident. He's been deeply committed to documenting their accounts with respect and to preserve their voices for future generations. Ladies and gentlemen, James Fox.
Yeah.
Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. And it was a colossal undertaking to get these gentlemen from Brazil here. But I stand for welcome water. And you have a statement. So thank you, everyone, for being here and for all your efforts. Just informed that Congressman Burleson has just arrived. I don't know how long he's going to stay with us, but I'm hoping there he is. Welcome, Congressman. We want to have a sitting member of the Senate, Senator Giral from Brazil, who's here. Can you stand up, please? So we will be introducing Congressman Burleson. Would you like to give a quick statement now, or would you like to wait till a little bit later? Come on, please. I'll finish mine afterwards.
I don't want to, I'm so glad to be here and I'm eagerly anticipating what you have to reveal.
Excellent.
Thank you for all your work.
Thank you so much, Clark. So my work has taken me around the world investigating some extraordinary allegations of UFO encounters, now referred to as UAP, unidentified anomalous phenomena. But what brings us here together today is what I consider, and many others, the most compelling case in modern history. In January 1996, in Varginha, Brazil, Numerous witnesses reported a cigar-shaped object in distress, which ultimately crashed in a field, Miami Farm, just outside the city of Varginha, Brazil. Several days later, on January 20th, 3 girls outside the city, ages 14, 16, and 21, came within a few steps of an otherworldly creature cowering in broad daylight against a wall in a vacant lot. Over time, it was revealed that the Brazilian Fire Department and military police captured 2 non-human beings on that same day. According to multiple Brazilian government officials, the crash debris and non-human beings, likely one still living, were flown out of Brazil within days by U.S. Air Force and presumably remaining in the possession of a secret U.S. government classified research program. More and more witnesses are coming forward because courage is infectious and there's strength in numbers. This investigation is far from over. We are encouraging a coalition between officials from the U.S. and Brazil to acquire additional records, including potential video and photographic evidence of this case. I believe in this case because this could settle the debate once and for all that we're not alone. I'm very grateful to our Brazilian witnesses taking the time to come all this way to be here with us today. As I said earlier, we had to move mountains and walk on water. The Brazilian statements will be translated by a leading class who's right here across, and co-produced the New Kind of Moment of Contact and was instrumental in making this conference happen. Thank you. I'm going to mention Carlos de Souza was here as well, his initial crash witness. We took years to track him down. He gave one brief statement in 1996 to a researcher named Claudio Cobo, and then he vanished for the better part of 26 years. And I remember we were going to include a segment in the phenomenon of film I did. And at the end of the day, we were like, we got to find more witnesses we scrapped the whole idea and make it a movie. We found him, and a year or two later, we got him to come forward and share his story. One of the earliest civilian witnesses to the events surrounding the Varginha crash. He's a former businessman, a longtime geography teacher, and an experienced ultralight pilot. Carlos made one public statement, as I said earlier, and then he vanished. So we're very grateful to have Carlos here with us today. Carlos, please.
Bom dia, senhoras e senhores. Grande prazer estar falando hoje com vocês.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. It is a pleasure to speak with you today.
Perdoe pouco o nervosismo que o filme passa na minha cabeça nesse instante.
Forgive me, I'm a bit nervous. This movie I've seen just plays in my head all the time.
Eu testemunhei a queda de uma nave não terrestre no ano de 1996, dia 13 de janeiro.
I witnessed the crash of a non-terrestrial craft on January 13th, 1996.
Eu viajava de São Paulo para a cidade de Três Corações. E durante esse percurso, eu parei rapidamente no acostamento e, nesse momento, ela resolveu fazer um dia do caso, porque eu iria a um encontro de pilotos de ultraleve. Eu ia recém-formado como piloto, então eu ia encontrar os amigos.
I was en route from São Paulo to the city of Três Corações via Fernão Dias Highway in Minas Gerais for an ultralight pilots gathering.
Ao fazer uma breve parada, eu avistei um objeto que, para mim, naquele momento, está em formato de charuto, não era nada sério, era simplesmente um dirigível, pois na época em formato de charuto, tá? E eu observei que ele estava em apuros.
When I made a brief stop near Varginha, I looked skyward. I spotted a cigar-shaped object which seemed distressed. Initially, I assumed it was a blimp, common at the time over soccer fields for broadcasts. It released white smoke while losing altitude.
Inicialmente, como eu já falando, pensei que fosse um dirigível. Tá? Na época era muito comum sobre os campos de futebol no Brasil, para fazer as transmissões das partidas. Só que ele saía dele uma fumaça muito branca. E eu ia fazer uma pequena curva, eu observei que na sua lateral ele tinha um rasgo da metade para trás. E ele estava rapidamente perdendo altitude.
It released white smoke while losing altitude. It made a slight turn that revealed a lateral tear from the middle to the back. It was clearly having problems.
Logo pensei, como piloto, que os ocupantes estariam em graves problemas, porque só quem é piloto sabe o desespero que dá você estar numa nave com problemas, numa aeronave com problemas. Entrei no meu veículo rapidamente e comecei a acompanhá-lo através do para-brisa até o seu local da sua queda. Na esperança, na verdade, de ajudar quem estava lá dentro.
Only a pilot would know the difficulty of seeing a craft in trouble. So he quickly realized that the occupants could be in deep trouble. I got in my car and followed its trajectory towards the crash site, hoping to be able to help.
Ao chegar no local da queda, eu estranhei no início, porque esperava era um cheiro de combustível, eu usei, mas havia um cheiro de amônia e ovo podre, muito diferente, que ardia muito nos olhos, queimava nos olhos. Então eu subi a camisa para poder respirar, eu não conseguia. Metade da nave, desse objeto, no caso, para mim, era um dirigível, estava encostado numa árvore. E a outra metade traseira eram vários destroços.
When I got there, I smelled a foul odor, like ammonia with rotten eggs, burning my eyes. Half the craft remained intact by a tree, and the debris of the back part was scattered everywhere.
Nesse momento, rapidamente, chegou vários veículos militares.
Multiple army vehicles arrived promptly.
Nesse momento, estava eles estavam meio destroços, houve negócio. E esses fragmentos, tá, eu levei baixei, peguei na minha mão. E eu observei que ele era muito leve, não tinha peso nenhum. Parecia um papel alumínio, aquelas folhas de papel alumínio bem fininhas. E amassei. Ao soltá-lo, que eu tomei um susto gigantesco, ele voltou à forma normal. Meu Deus, o que é isso?
At that point, I was in the middle of the wreckage, and I picked up a lightweight fragment resembling aluminum foil. I crumpled it in my hand, but when I let go, it instantly resumed its shape.
Nesse exato momento, um soldado do Exército, da ESA, mais preciso, do Brasil, veio em minha direção com um rifle, tá? E começou a gritar: vai embora, vai embora. E no que ele deu impacto, tirou de mim esse fragmento. E eu respondi para ele: não, eu não vou. Tem gente caída lá, machucada. Para mim, naquele momento, eu não fazia isso errado. Para mim, ele vai embora, vai embora. Eu falei: não, não vou. Ele deu um passo para trás, levantou a arma, engatilhou, apontou para mim em cabeça. Eu não estou pedindo, eu estou mandando, eu vou abrir a tua cabeça no meio se você não for embora.
A soldier approached fast and hit me in the chest with his rifle, so I was forced to drop the metal I was holding. He shouted, "Leave now." I replied, "No, people in there need help." He aimed his gun at my head and said, "I am not requesting, it is an order. Leave now or I'll split your skull."
virei imediatamente tremendo, morrendo sem entender nada. E estava muito assustado mesmo com tudo aquilo.
I turned and departed immediately. I was very scared and confused.
Saí do local imediatamente, que sentiu o que fazer, para primeiro, não entendia nada, e caminhei até um posto de gasolina, porque eu falei, vou tomar um café e me acalmar. Tá? Tudo aquele negócio é demais na minha cabeça. Só. Desculpe. E para me recompor, fui ao posto tomar um café para me recompor. Em poucos minutos, uns 4 minutos, 5 minutos no máximo, chegou um carro escuro, um Opala, carro da época, azul escuro, quase preto, com 2 homens bem vestidos, elegantes, ternos pretos, camisa branca, óculos escuros, desceram e vieram ao meu encontro.
I left the area and stopped at the first gas station to compose myself. A few minutes later, a very dark blue, near black vehicle pulled up. 2 suited men got out and approached me.
Um deles veio em minha direção, e me chamou pelo meu nome. Falou com minha esposa, o nome do negócio, para mim, apontando para mim, e perguntou. Eu perguntei para ele, falando, o senhor era o Carlos Souza, o senhor era isso, e apontando para mim. Eu perguntei para ele, quem é você? Não te conheço. Ele respondeu frio e simplesmente, você não viu nada, você não sabe de nada, ou você terá sérios problemas o resto da sua vida.
One of these men approached him and called him by name, stating his address, naming wife and business, and he asked, "Who are you?" And this man threatened, "You saw nothing, you know nothing, or you will have problems for the rest of your life."
Partiram rapidamente. Nesse momento, eu peguei um papel guardado, ele guardou com uma caneta, para anotar a porta do veículo. Porque, para mim, quem eram as pessoas que trabalharem aqui? Só que ao chegar à porta, quem falou que o carro tinha placa? Não havia placa do veículo, porque ele simplesmente partiu.
They departed swiftly. I grabbed a napkin to write down the license plate, but there wasn't one.
Imploro a todos os presentes aqui, após 30 anos, ridicularizado, julgado pela sociedade, sorry. Não nos abandone. Novamente. Permito que a verdade venha à tona. Tenho coragem de falar a verdade para nós. Eu não sou louco. Ninguém é louco. Tenho família com qualquer um. Por favor, fale a verdade. Aquele que sabe, as autoridades. Só peço isso. Obrigado.
I implore the authorities and people present, after 30 years of ridicule and societal judgment, do not abandon us again. Allow the truth to emerge. Summon the courage to disclose it. Thank you very much.
Obrigado.
I want to say that we tracked him down, specifically my team, Marco Leal in Brazil, and begged and pleaded with him to come forward after he was silent for 26 years. He's never asked for a dime. He's not trying to sell anything. Wow. Thank you, Carlos.
Obrigado.
We have colossal effort to get 6 additional firsthand witnesses here. In fact, we hired an immigration lawyer. We reached out to Congressman Burleson's office. He was very happy to help implement getting their visas approved. He was working diligently, his office. He put it on one of his best people. And unfortunately, 6 visas were denied. So we rushed back just a couple of weeks ago. Alini and myself, covert mission, went back to Brazil with the help of the local government and got access to an official building with a podium and flags. And we recorded statements from all those that had their visas denied. So that's the story behind why we're presenting it. They wanted to be here in person. They tried everything to be here in person. We worked on it for the better part of 9 months. And again, I'll remind you that QR code allows you to download free of access, use it anywhere you want. Right there by the doors, there's no one by those doors. It'll give you full access to all the videos you're about to see. And I ask you to please spread them far and wide. They're all yours, they're everybody's. So we're gonna, without further ado, we're gonna show you 6 additional statements from firsthand witnesses right now that were unable to be here. Thank you.
Eu juro que o que eu vou dizer é simplesmente a verdade, nada mais do que a verdade. Meu nome é Fábio Furtado e em janeiro de 1996, eu e meu amigo que estávamos na fazenda que trabalhávamos em explorações, vimos um objeto voador não identificado. Um objeto que não era normal para a época, uma coisa que a gente nunca tinha visto. Ele fez movimentos sem nenhum tipo de curva, subiu e desceu, fez um Z no ar e desceu atrás do morro, na frente da nossa fazenda que nós morávamos e trabalhávamos em 96. O objeto ele era cilíndrico, era o tamanho mais ou menos do micro-ônibus, e o movimento que ele fez no ar, eu nunca vi se repetir isso, nem nos dias atuais, nas aeronaves mais tecnológicas que nós temos hoje. Aquele objeto fez um pouso, e no dia seguinte, eu fui lá para conferir e vi um amarelado no chão. Ali eu tive aquela certeza, percepção, que aquele objeto não era desse mundo.
Eu juro que eu vou dizer aqui agora é verdade, somente a verdade. Meu nome é Liliane Silva, tenho 46 anos, sou professora na educação infantil. No sábado 20 de janeiro de 1996, a mais ou menos às 3h20, eu, Valquíria e a Kátia, ao cortar caminho, vindo do trabalho, observei no muro uma pichação, onde embaixo dessa pichação de uma trave de futebol, eu avistei uma criatura, estatura baixa, com os olhos vermelhos, a pele marrom, como se tivesse passado no olho, umas veias que saíam do pescoço até o braço, né? E quando a gente que eu avistei ali, eu tive uma sensação, assim, terrível, como se o mundo tivesse parado. Foram minutos, mais minutos, assim, que passou um filme na minha vida. Na hora que eu gritei para avisar as meninas. Olha ali, a criatura olhou para mim, eu olhei nos olhos dela, me passou uma sensação que ela estivesse sofrendo, ela estivesse pedindo ajuda, se escondendo de alguém ali. E assim, aqueles minutinhos que eu fixei nos olhos dela, eu entrei em pânico, não sabia o que eu fazia, só falei assim, gente, vamos correr, e comecei a correr na frente delas, né, em sentido da minha casa. As meninas olharam para ela e teve a mesma impressão, cada um viu alguma coisa, mas assim, apavoradas, saíram correndo, no sentido da minha casa.
Juro dizer a verdade, nada além da verdade. Sou Kátia Xavier, uma das 3 testemunhas do caso Varginha. Eu estive a 2 metros de uma criatura. Foi dia 20 de janeiro de 1996. Eu, Liliane e Valquíria estávamos juntos, passando nesse terreno, Estivemos cara a cara, praticamente, com uma coisa muito estranha, um extraterrestre. E, assim, ele me passou muito medo. Ele era marrom, dos olhos vermelhos, com a pele oleosa, uma cabeça grande, com 3 dedos na mão, um pé grande. E aquilo mudou muito a minha vida, transformou a minha vida. E me passava que eu estava sofrendo naquele lugar, que aquele pedia ajuda para mim. Eu não conseguia me mexer, olhando para ele e tentando pegar alguma coisa a mais. Então, eu já ia para a direção dele, tipo assim, eu vou ajudar ele, né? Não pensei assim, em consequência. Eu vou ajudar essa criatura, essa pessoa. Quando eu fui para fazer, para tomar essa atitude, a Liliane voltou, pegou no meu braço e me puxou. Foi onde eu me desliguei completamente. Mas aí já não era mais minha Cátia. Era totalmente diferente. Por quê? Porque, assim, me transformou. Me deixou, assim, com sequelas de que, poxa, por que eu não fiz algo? Poxa, por que pegaram ele? Por eu ter falado, pegaram ele, fizeram com ele. Então, isso ficou marcado em mim. Porque eu sinto essa criatura junto comigo a todo momento, aonde eu vou. Então, sempre vou dizer a minha verdade. Em janeiro faz 30 anos a história. E eu nunca mudei nenhuma sílaba e nunca vou mudar. Porque essa é a minha verdade. Eu juro que o que eu vou contar agora é verdade, nada mais que a verdade. Eu me chamo Valquíria, sou uma das testemunhas do dia 20 de janeiro de 1996, onde estava eu, minha irmã Viviane e a nossa amiga Kátia, quando estávamos indo embora do trabalho e avistamos uma criatura. Uma criatura diferente, que nós não sabemos o que era, mas era assustadora. Quando eu olhei para os olhos dela, eu senti que ela estava com muito medo. Da mesma forma que a gente ficou assustada, ela também ficou apavorada. Foi o que ela passou no olhar para a gente. E marrom, de olhos vermelhos, tinha brilho no corpo, como se tivesse passado óleo. E aquele dia marcou nossa vida para sempre. Eu juro falar a verdade, nada mais do que a verdade. Meu nome é Luísa Helena da Silva, sou mãe das 2 meninas que viu o ser. E depois de meia hora, eu fui até no local, a Cátia chorando muito, e eu cheguei até lá, vi a pegada. Tinha grama e a pegada dos dedos dele. Assim, só 3 dedos, muito comprido, assim. E só a única coisa que eu consegui já tinha sumido dali. É o cheiro daquele lugar que ficou muito e muito tempo, uns 25 dias no máximo, se eu não me esqueço, no meu nariz. Então, depois do acontecido, que as meninas viram esse ser lá, eu recebi na minha casa 4 homens que eu nunca tinha visto na minha vida. Eram 4 homens vestidos de preto, e eles foi só entrando e foi fazendo uma proposta para mim, se eu aceitasse aquele dinheiro, abriu a mala na minha frente, disse que a gente ia ficar milionário pro resto da vida. É um dinheiro esquisito que eu nunca tinha visto na minha vida. Era uma maleta assim, nessa altura. E nem abri, que abriu, os outros só olhavam. Que eu tenho a impressão que eles não falavam a nossa língua. Só um que falava. E falou que era muito dinheiro, que a gente ia ficar rica, que eu tinha que ir embora daqui. Mas eles queriam que eu ia se eu aceitasse, que era para mim ir numa emissora, numa TV, reunir as meninas, e mentira. Que, por exemplo, um exemplo que ele deu, que as meninas viam um bezerro, um cachorro doente, um ser humano doente. Eu fiquei muito assustada com isso, achei que isso não era digno. E aí pedi para eles ir embora dali. Fiquei com muito medo deles, sim. Então, eu acho que eu, eu não poderia mentir uma coisa desse jeito se eu não cheguei a ver. Agora, mentir que as meninas não viram nada, isso aí também já é demais. É só isso que eu tenho que falar.
Yeah.
Eu juro que o que eu vou dizer é a acepção mais correta da verdade. É a verdade dos fatos. Meu nome é Nina Deia, eu sou jornalista, sou diretor da TV Princesa, onde já trabalho desde aquela época. Em janeiro de 1996, no dia 20, eu estava trabalhando e logo que saí, fiquei sabendo do avistamento na cidade. Eu fui averiguar esse avistamento, fui impedido pelos soldados da ESA, né, que não deixaram que eu subisse até o local, porque por ser da cidade, eu sei onde as coisas acontecem. Eu queria ver. Parei no carro, desci, queria ir a pé, disseram que eu não poderia passar. Eu questionei por quê? Assunto de segurança nacional. Mas é minha liberdade de ir e vir. Vocês têm que ficar. Pois bem, isso aconteceu depois, no domingo, tiveram pessoas que fizeram um avistamento. Eu estive no hospital regional porque fiquei sabendo que lá havia movimentação. Vi os médicos em polvorosa, mas não soube o quê. E o mais importante que eu esqueci de dizer, naquele momento em que eu estava próximo ao local dos fatos, eu ouvia barulho de gente na mata, como se estivesse correndo, e duas frases me marcaram. Cerca, cerca. O outro respondia, é liso, é liso. Essas coisas ficaram na minha mente por um bom tempo. Mandei 2 jornalistas para uma entrevista coletiva que teria na ESA para eles tentarem colocar panos quentes, dizer que não, era apenas um exercício militar, era caminhão que estava arrumando, e eu destruí os meus recortes. Pergunta exatamente sobre isso, sobre o que aconteceu, mas seja incisivo. A resposta que eles tiveram foi, se vocês insistirem nesse assunto, vocês vão ser presos. Então, quer dizer, para mim, havia um processo de acobertamento e que, aliás, perdura até hoje, por enquanto. Que muita gente, como eu, tem relatos iguais a esse, mas que ainda hoje tem medo de dar a cara a tapa e de falar o que aconteceu. Sobre visualização do silêncio, onde eu fiz o transporte, mas primeiramente, antes de transportar sem eu entrei na porta, a segunda porta do hospital, onde eu estei, e posteriormente veio relatos de simplesmente hospedeiros. Com isso, eu fiz transporte de Varginha para 3 corações, e 3 corações para Campinas, onde eu estive a viatura, outros militares assumiram, e posteriormente voltando para 3 corações, onde o relato que os americanos teriam já a posta de ser transportando ele para o local de novo, eu não sei.
Eu juro falar a verdade, somente a verdade. Meu nome é Marta, sou irmã do militar Marco Alexandres, que em 96 veio a óbito e participou da captura do ET. Meu irmão tinha 23 anos na época, era militar da P2. Falo com convicção que muitas das pessoas levam o caso para ser fantástico e não é. É um caso muito sério. Realmente, meu irmão participou da captura do ET e veio a óbito. A causa indefinida, até hoje indefinida. Mas a gente vai esclarecer isso. Custe o que custar. Passe o tempo que passar, nada fica encoberto. Mas eu gostaria que as pessoas que soubessem um pouco mais, que viessem se pronunciassem, mas desde que dizendo a verdade. Eu perdi uma parte na qual não vou ser restaurada nunca mais. Eu queria que o governo, as autoridades falassem o que realmente aconteceu no dia, o porquê que se escondem, né? Eu sei que pode existir pessoas que não vão entender, mas eu acredito que muitas das pessoas, a maioria, irá entender esse caso sim. Estou aqui esperando uma resposta da sociedade, da população, quem sabe de algum militar que queira falar. Hoje eu aguardo. E vamos torcer para que as pessoas que venham até nós venham com contundência, venham com firmeza, com declaração explícita. Simplesmente, se por mais dura que seja a verdade, que ela seja dita. Most of us, if we should just take a moment of silence, that's a lot. I think we can all hear and feel that everyone here is telling the truth to the best of their ability from their heart. As I regain my composure here, our next Brazilian witness brings an essential perspective to one of the most difficult and still unresolved aspects of the Varginha case, the sudden and tragic death of a healthy 23-year-old military police officer, Marco Perez, who, with the help of fellow officer Eric Lopez, captured one of the live beings with his bare hands. Within weeks, he developed a severe bacterial infection that would ultimately prove fatal. Dr. Armando, the forensic specialist who conducted Perez's autopsy, is a highly respected physician with a law degree who works primarily in forensic medicine. Over more than 3 decades with the Minas Gerais Civil Police, he served as a forensic pathologist, criminal medical examiner, and critical medical examiner. I'm seeing in some of my notes here that I finished at 3 a.m. The obvious results that I was finishing at 3 a.m. He also served as the president of the Medical Association and municipal secretary of health in Varginha. He's here with us today to discuss his knowledge of the case. Dr. Armando.
Bom dia. Declaro que estou dizendo a verdade e que não tenho nenhum conflito de interesses pessoais ou de outra natureza.
Today, I hereby state that I am telling the truth and that I have no conflict of interest, personal or otherwise.
Fui designado para realizar autópsia no corpo do soldado de 23 anos, Marco Perez, cuja morte inesperada levou o comandante da Polícia Militar de Minas Gerais a solicitar uma investigação por suspeita de erro profissional.
I was assigned to perform the autopsy on the body of the 23-year-old soldier, Marco Perez, whose unexpected death led the commander of the military police of the state of Minas Gerais to request an investigation on suspicion of professional error.
Causou estranheza que um jovem soldado, saudável, ter morrido em decorrência de um abscesso na região axilar esquerda.
It was considered unusual that a young, healthy soldier would die as a result of what appeared to be a simple abscess in the underarm area.
Realizei a autópsia e encaminhei fragmentos de órgãos e amostras de sangue ao meu colega, o renomado médico patologista, Dr. João Batista Macuco Janini, para avaliações laboratoriais e maiores esclarecimentos.
I sent organ fragments and blood samples to my colleague, the renowned pathologist, Dr. João Batista Janini, for laboratory assessment and further clarification.
Foi observada uma cicatriz recente na região axilar esquerda, decorrente de uma drenagem cirúrgica e uma lesão infecciosa.
A recent scar was observed in the left underarm region as a result from a surgical drainage of an infectious lesion.
O paciente faleceu poucos dias depois, apesar de ter sido avaliado e tratado por outros médicos com doses elevadas de anti-inflamatórios e de antibióticos.
The patient died a few days later, despite having been evaluated and treated by other physicians with high doses of anti-inflammatory medications and antibiotics.
Como tratava-se de uma bactéria altamente virulenta e multiresistente, a infecção evoluiu rapidamente, espalhando-se pelo corpo, resultando em choque séptico e na morte do jovem soldado.
As the infection was caused by a highly virulent and multi-drug resistant bacterium, it progressed rapidly, spreading throughout the body and resulting in septic shock, eventually leading to the death of the young soldier.
Infelizmente, o médico patologista, Dr. Janine, não pôde participar desse nosso evento pela idade avançada, mas fez questão de elaborar uma declaração por escrito, que foi traduzida para o inglês, para ser apresentada a todos vocês, hoje, nesta data tão importante, nesta conferência.
Unfortunately, the pathologist, Dr. Giannini, was unable to attend our event due to his advanced age, but he prepared a written statement that was carefully translated to present to you today.
Fazer a leitura.
We'll invite Mateus over to the stage to read the statement for you guys.
Most honorable ladies and gentlemen, distinguished authorities, scientists, and representatives of the institutions gathered here. My name is João Janini. I'm a professor and doctor with specialization in anatomic pathology. I worked professionally for 60 years, during which I performed more than 50,000 autopsies, conducted over 1 million microscopic analyses, and served as a preceptor to more than 200 postgraduate students. I carried out academic activities at 3 higher education institutions: Fluminense Federal University, the Federal University of Rio de Janeiro, and the University of Brasilia, where I held the position of associate professor. In the southern region of Minas Gerais, I founded the Institute for Prevention and Diagnosis, IPD, where I developed and implemented programs focused on cancer prevention. The access granted to me was limited exclusively to tissue fragments collected during the autopsy of the body of soldier Marco Elixerezi. Subsequently, I received circumstantial reports presented by gentlemen ufologists who requested a review of the previously mentioned material. Based on these reports, I prepared my conclusions focusing exclusively on the identification and analysis of the bacterium responsible for the infection that affected the soldier. This bacterium proved to be a microbial agent of extremely high aggressiveness and lethality. Given its characteristics, I understand that it goes beyond the limits of a conventional infection, possibly presenting itself as a highly specialized mechanism of aggression and defense, which raises the hypothesis of its alien origin. We are currently awaiting the necessary legal procedures for the exhumation of the body, with the expectation that advanced studies in molecular biology may provide new evidence regarding its mechanisms of aggressiveness, corroborating the hypothesis that it is an organism of extraterrestrial origin. If confirmed, such a finding would represent an equivocal proof of the existence of extraterrestrial life. implying a profound global reformulation of our philosophical understanding of existence. January the 8th, 2026, Varginha, Dr. J.J.
Thank you, Dr. Armando. We have the distinct honor of, as I announced earlier, Senator João, who's here, and we thought we would offer him a quick opportunity to say something if you'd like. Take a few-minute break, and then we're going to present Dr. Italo, who allegedly had face-to-face contact with the creature, some level of communication for 3 to 4 minutes after we take a short little break. So, Senator, if you'd like to come up and say a little brief word, we're happy to have you. Thank you so much.
Good morning.
Morning.
My English is not so good, so I'd like to alleviate your trabalho. É uma honra ter recebido o convite seu, Jamie Foxx, para estarmos aqui hoje.
It's a great honor to have received the invitation from James Fox to be here today.
Eu não vim em nome do Senado do Brasil.
I did not come representing the Brazilian Senate.
Desde pequeno, eu tenho curiosidade nesse assunto.
Since I was little, I've been curious about this subject.
Então, eu fiz questão de vir aqui pagando do meu bolso,
So I made sure to come here on my own account,
trazendo amigos como o Coronel Gerson Gomes,
bringing friends such as the Coronel Gerson Gomes.
que é jornalista independente muito respeitado do Brasil,
That's a very respected independent journalist in Brazil.
para compartilhar com vocês esse momento histórico.
To share with you here this historical moment.
Eu sou do Ceará,
I'm from Ceará,
estado no nordeste do Brasil.
in the north of Brazil.
E lá nós tivemos uma brilhante escritora chamada Raquel de Queiroz.
We have a brilliant author, writer there called Raquel de Queiroz.
Ela escrevia mensalmente na revista mais importante do Brasil.
She wrote monthly to the most important magazine in Brazil.
E quebrou um paradigma escrevendo um artigo sobre um avistamento em Quixadá, que fica no meu estado.
And she broke the paradigm by writing about this UFO case in Quixadá,
Com 20 testemunhas confirmando.
with 20 witnesses confirming it.
Nós tivemos outro caso no Brasil que é muito emblemático também,
There's another puzzling case in Brazil also
que é a Operação Prato,
that's called Operação Prato, Operation Plate,
que a Força Aérea Brasileira
that the Brazilian Air Force
identificou em vários estados do Brasil,
identified in several states over Brazil
na mesma noite,
on the same evening,
vários objetos voadores não identificados.
many UFO or UAPs.
Mas o caso mais simbólico e que mais repercute no mundo
But the most symbolic case and the one with most repercussion in the world
é o caso de Varginha.
is the Varginha case.
Tem um grande humanista brasileiro de Minas Gerais também,
There's a great Brazilian humanist also from the states.
pacifista considerado pelo povo brasileiro como o mineiro do século, que nasceu em Minas Gerais.
A pacifist considered by Brazilians,
Considerado como o brasileiro de todos os tempos, um grande brasileiro de todos os tempos.
like the great Brazilian of all times, this pacifist,
Chico Xavier,
Chico Xavier.
ele fez um documentário que foi feito em relação à sua fala da data limite de Chico Xavier.
He made a documentary talking about the limit date of Chico Xavier.
Não ele que fez. Fizeram um documentário que está aberto.
And he made a documentary about him.
E ele diz que com 50 anos após o homem chegar na Lua,
And he said that 50 years after man has reached the moon,
se nós não tivéssemos a Terceira Guerra Mundial,
if we didn't have the Third World War,
o mundo iria conhecer em pouco tempo
the world would shortly come to know
contato mais próximo com seres de outros planetas.
a closer contact with beings from other planets.
E eu quero parabenizar Jamie pela sua coragem.
He wants to congratulate James for his courage.
Eu quero parabenizar também 2 convidados que foram ao Senado do Brasil,
He wants to also congratulate 2 guests that came to the Brazilian Senate.
que nós fizemos 3 anos atrás um evento mundial no Senado do Brasil sobre os 75 anos de ufologia.
They did a 70-year ufology celebration event.
O detetive aposentado da Polícia Federal, da Polícia Inglesa, Gary Heseltine,
Retired detective of the English police.
e Robert Lambert Salas, comandante da reserva do Exército Americano e pesquisador de ufologia.
Commander of the U.S. Army and UFO researcher.
Foi um evento com uma presença de pesquisadores, ufólogos
It was a great event with researchers
do Brasil.
in Brazil.
E para encerrar,
And to finish,
esses brasileiros aqui que estão comigo têm muita coragem.
these Brazilians up here with me are very courageous.
Não é fácil tratar desse assunto no Brasil, que existe um julgamento e é entendido por muitas pessoas como chacota.
It's not easy to deal with the subject matter in Brazil. There is a lot of ridicule and a lot of hope in these people.
E nós vivemos um momento hoje gravíssimo político no Brasil,
And we are in a dire political moment in Brazil also,
de caçada à liberdade de expressão,
where they're hunting down freedom of expression,
com presos políticos, mais de 1.000 presos políticos.
with more than 1,000 political prisoners.
E falar desse assunto hoje também precisa ter muita coragem.
And to speak about this today also requires a lot of courage.
Eu faço um apelo às autoridades americanas que porventura estejam aqui,
He makes an appeal to the American authorities that may be here today,
que possam ter alguns elementos desse caso de Varginha, possam ter trazido aos Estados Unidos,
that they can bring some of the elements of the Varginha case to the United States,
que possam compartilhar conosco. Eu estarei à disposição
that they may share that with us, that he'll be available,
e cobrarei transparência também do governo brasileiro
and he will also require transparency from the Brazilian government
para que a verdade triunfe.
so that the truth may triumph.
Muito obrigado, Roberto.
Obrigado.
Thank you. All right, this has gone on a little longer than we thought, but that happens, and so I can feel the tension in the room. People need to squiggle and move around for a few minutes, so why don't we actually take the 15-minute break now?
Couple minute break,
10
minute break.
Can
basket,
negotiate.
A glass of water.
Women need a few minutes.
And then we'll thank pizza loaf.
So I just wanted to say, yeah, we have 3 speakers left, right? We have Dr. Italo and Colonel Paulson and what's your name, Kirk?
Sure.
And then, I don't know, Representative Burleson, I'm concerned about your timing. Do you need to leave soon? Should we? You're
Okay,
okay.
good.
All right, fantastic. All right, 10 minutes.
Couple minute break, guys, and then we'll.
See you back. All right.
I'll be back in a minute.
5 years.
We're almost ready to come back. I'm so sorry.
Years ago, right? We're still thinking, yeah, we'll keep this.